Okay, take 4. I'm Maxey. I have complex regional pain syndrome, and I started this channel to try to help others to be more positive with this disease. Maybe you have it, maybe you know somebody that has it, and you just don't know what you're in for, or you don't understand what your friend is going through or your family member. I was listening to my favorite YouTuber last night, and he made a comment that I felt like was directed right to me. I'm sure it wasn't. He doesn't know who I am, but he basically said if you want to be successful at YouTube, one, find a topic that other people want to listen to or are interested in because they have the same situation. Two, film your entire life, the good, the bad, the ugly, makeup, no makeup, sleepy, no sleepy, whatever. Car breaking down, the whole bit. It can't all be peachy keen and roses. And then three, just be yourself. If you're quirky, be quirky. If you're quiet, be quiet. But the dead air on YouTube is a no-no. So, I had a conversation with somebody on my SCS stimulator support group. And it got me thinking that there might be others out there that need this same conversation. I don't know if it hit home with this person or not, but it brought me to be thinking. When I got complex regional pain, my husband and I had no idea what we were in for. We thought, okay, it'll last a month or two, they'll get it under control, and that'll be the end of it. But that's not the case. If it's not in control within the first around 90 days, you're stuck with it. You're stuck with it until you can possibly get a spinal stimulator that can help your nervous system calm down, relax, and maybe go into remission. Everything I've looked up and read says that it is a lifelong disease, there's no cure, and it's chronic. You're just going to be in pain. It's called the suicide disease because since the pain never goes away, people start to kind of lose their mind about it and get depression and sometimes unalive themselves. I wish that wasn't the case because there's one thing that we have control over in this whole situation, and that's our mind. Our attitude, our choices, our mind, those are all things that we can control, right? Our nervous system might be having a party and getting a little too drunk, but we can choose how we handle that drunk person. This woman or man, I'm not sure who they were, was discussing with me how the scars from her stimulator were so overwhelming that they were just causing her life to be completely ruined. And she had a small child, and she felt like because she got CRPS and she had to get the stimulator, that his life was somehow ruined by that happening. So I asked what happened. What injury did she get? How did she get CRPS? Why did she get a stimulator? Why did she need one? And she began to tell me a story that she was in this really bad accident with multiple broken bones and muscles. She was in the hospital for months on end, and she was left with complex regional pain syndrome. Consequently, flash forward a few years after being more or less bedridden, and she gets this stimulator. But it didn't go in smoothly. Instead of having a clean scar vertically and a small clean scar horizontally, she kind of has a puff. Since she's only about 90 pounds, this little Oreo cookie of a battery pack is showing in her hip side, and it just is doing her in. She cannot get past the fact that she can't do the things she wants to do with her son, and now she can't even go to the beach and go swimming with him because she has this ugly poof on her back that this Oreo cookie of a disc is showing. And I tried to explain it's really no different than a pacemaker. All these people that have pacemakers that are mounted right here and you can see the little disc right under the skin, they still go swimming. They still have a great time. They still do wonderful things with their children and their family. And she mentioned to me that her child calls her Deadpool, and that it just makes her so sad that he has to resort to a TV cartoon character as her. And it got me thinking, she's looking at it wrong. And so many of us do that. So many of us look at something as a negative when really it's a positive. Here's a little kid whose mother almost died in a really bad accident. And instead of her mother being unalive, her mother's here with this robotic stimulator in her back and a little poof of an Oreo cookie on her backside. And what does her son choose to do but call her a superhero? She's Deadpool, the most funny, sarcastic, whimsical superhero that there is. Everything's taken with a grain of salt. Everything rolls off his back like it's nothing. He takes his disability with a sense of humor. If his hand disappears and starts to grow back, well, then he makes a joke about having baby fingers. He's a funny guy. And this little kid is looking at his mother and saying, Mom, you're Deadpool. Like, I tell my friends you're Deadpool. He's calling her a superhero. But she doesn't see it that way. She sees it as this accident changed her life forever. She can no longer do the fun stuff with her son she used to do. But that's not true either. We can do everything we used to do with just a twist. I can do the dishes. I just have to stand on one foot. It might take me 4 hours instead of 20 minutes, but I can still get them done. I can sit and watch TV and a movie with my family, but I have to shift positions every 20 or 30 minutes. Sometimes I have to lay down, sometimes I have to sit, sometimes my feet have to be elevated, but it doesn't stop me from watching that movie and enjoying my family. If we go to the movie theater, we just make sure that we get the seats that the arms go up. So then if I'm not feeling well, I can lay down with my head on my husband and still be at the movie theater watching the movie. Nobody stops me. We're in the handicap section. They don't care. They want the money. They don't care if you're laying in the seat. As long as you're not being disrespectful, putting mud on their chairs or, I'll even take my shoes off if it's nice seats. I don't want to dirty them up, but I want to enjoy it with my family. So to those of you out there that are looking at this spinal stimulator as a curse or a negative, look at this little kid's point of view. We're superheroes. We are controlled by an iPhone. We literally can control how fast we walk, how slow we walk. Can we get up or can we not? Can we use a knee scooter and actually put our knee on a piece of fabric, or do we need a wheelchair? We literally are superheroes. And this little kid's point of view just shows it all. He's bragging to his family about people just like us. Instead of seeing the pain that his mother's in and this poof on her back and that she can't go to the beach with him, he sees this whimsical, crazy, fun lady. And who cares if you have a poof on your back? Do you think the 300-pound woman who's wearing a string bikini cares if you have an Oreo-sized disc on your back? Of course not. Men aren't looking at us. They're not looking for that little disc. They're looking at the strange and unusual happening. Right? They're looking at the person who ran down the beach and just made a crater in the sand because they took a face plant. They're pulling their phone out to record it. They're not pulling their phone out to record our little disc on our hips. They really just, people don't care. We're giving them more credit than they're due. Our disability might be a confusion to them, but it's not their focus in life. So we have to change our point of view. I tried to explain to this woman, in my family we have this thing called dawn it. Basically it's like find the fresh start, find the light in their darkness, find the rising, the sun, the positivity, find the dawn of the day, which is always the best part of the day. People get up to watch the sun rise. So whenever somebody in our family is being negative, we say dawn it. Find something positive about the situation. It can be something really stupid like, I can't believe I broke my finger for the 4th time, right? And somebody will go, well, dawn it. Well, all right, I broke my finger for the 4th time, but I don't have to do dishes for the next 6 weeks. Hello, that's like a positive. I'll take that. Or, my garden got flooded. Well, okay, you didn't like how it looked anyway, so now you get to start over. That's a dawn it. You're finding the light in a negative, dark situation. So if you have this disease and you've had it a long time, try really hard to remember it's our attitudes that, 1, help our pain get less, and 2, help us thrive throughout the day. It helps our family members be around us. It helps our friends want to be with us. It helps us enjoy that company. If you focus on just the pain you're feeling, your brain is going to focus on just that pain. But do you know why they tell people that if you smash your finger to shake your hand? The reason is because your brain can't do 2 things at once. At least that's what I've explained. And if you shake your hand, your brain has to focus on the motion of your hand moving versus the pain of whatever you smashed. So that's why people, when they hurt themselves, they do this, right? It's because your brain focuses on that instead of the pain. Or when somebody jokingly says to you, I'll punch you in the arm so your stomach doesn't hurt. That's because your brain can't focus on two pains at the same time. The really neat thing about our brains is that we can remember that we're in pain, but we can't remember what the pain felt like. Right? We can say, well, it was stinging or burning, or I felt like somebody dropped an anvil on my foot, but we don't actually remember the anvil feeling on our foot. That's the really neat creativity of our brains. So if it can do that, then I think if we just try to look at things through a more positive light, it can turn our pain around too. I know, we cannot make the pain go away. We cannot make it stop. We need rugs, put a D in front of that, to help us. We need the robotic stimulators to help us. I know that, but our attitudes do help too. So basically my point is, if you have CRPS and you're feeling really down and out, just think of that little kid. We're Deadpool. How cool is that? In the eyes of a child, we're not the bionic woman from the 70s. We're the coolest superhero that's out there. Now, don't give me hate that Superman or Batman are better, or Catwoman's better than Ivy, or whatever your favorite superhero is. You pick your superhero. I'm good with that. But just be that superhero. Be that person for your husband, for your family, for your friends, for your kids. Try to get out of bed. Try your best to just put that little tiny broken foot forward, or fingers, or arm, or wherever your CRPS is. We can do this. CRPS is not going to kill me, and it won't kill you.